what is going on? Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate all the love and support always. I am Deborah with Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive. So today we are going to be talking about this really interesting quote that I read. So like I've said, I really love everything health and wellness. This has been a huge part of my life ever since I could remember. You know, I have a lot of Scorpion energy, so part of me likes to toe the line. I like to know how much I can get away with before I have to rein it in. And you know, it's very interesting because so much of that plays into our ability to feel healthy and well, and not just on a physical level, right? In my belief, disease begins to manifest on the emotional and mental level before it even hits our physical being. In Ayurveda, the way our body is designed with trotas, or channels and systems that transport energy, when these become blocked, that's when disease forms, right? And a negative thought, emotion, repressed energy, all of that stuff can manifest, right? Especially when we don't know how to navigate our emotional world in a healthy and well way. Just keep in mind, side note, I am not a therapist. I am not a licensed therapist. I'm not a doctor. These videos are definitely for entertainment purposes only. I assume no legal responsibility, just because, you know, it's important to take care of ourselves. And if something serious is going on, then I really would love you to seek out a doctor, lawyer, medical professional, etc. But I will do my best to provide some insight and some knowledge for you to explore. So with that being said, I was introduced to this book a little bit ago. It is called Molecules of Emotion by Dr. Candace Pert. It is, like it says down here, the science behind mind-body medicine. So this is a really beautiful kind of balance between science and you know, a self-help book, essentially. I don't want to be, I hope that's taken with love, because it's no disrespect. It's a great book. It's a really interesting book. I like a lot of heady knowledge and information. I like a lot of facts to base or, you know, to back up why I think and believe what I do, ironically, right? And this is definitely something that caters to that. So one of the quotes that I came across that I thought was really interesting is this. On page 146, it says, "There is no objective reality. In order for the brain to not be overwhelmed by the constant deluge of sensory input, some sort of filtering system must enable us to pay attention to what our body-mind deems the most important pieces of information and to ignore the others. As discussed, our emotions decide what is worth paying attention to." That is such a profound statement. How often do you wake up feeling well and you're in a great mood and, you know, you're off and your day is going perfectly, and then you get to work and you come into contact with someone who's in a horrible mood, and then it just, all of a sudden, everything trickles down from there. You know, so much, or the vice versa, right? When we're waking up and we feel horrible and then we just can't get out of that funk, you know? And those things are tricky to navigate, but they're so connected with our mind-body system, right? If we're feeling down, it's hard to get ourselves up and running. And even when, I mean, obviously if we're able to stay grounded in ourselves, that first scenario would not really push us too off base. Like if we came into contact with someone who's in a bad mood, that's the ideal, right? Is that we can be so grounded in our being that we're not letting the outside world affect us, or if we are having a bad day, we know exactly what our body needs in order to lift us up. And some of that is working with the physicality, right? I find that oftentimes when we're in a funk, we got to figure out like I said, what helps us get out. Maybe you watch a funny video, or watch an episode, one of your favorite shows, on the YouTube or some streaming platform, and it doesn't have to be a technology motivated thing, There's practices that we can incorporate like pranayama breathing. This is a great balancer and equalizer of our system, the left and right hemisphere in our brain. It really helps kind of stabilize and diffuse any stress. Meditation is an amazing one as well. And we'll have videos on those as, the time goes. But this is really just to think about those thoughts, right? Of we are picking and choosing based upon what gets into our environment, how we're going to feel. It's perspective. And yeah, maybe it's a subconscious triggering, but we're still being triggered. That can be good and it can be bad. It's also, like I was discussing, having the tools to know how to navigate if we get jolted into a place that we didn't really want to be. And then it's also just kind of recognizing that when it does feel pretty dark, it doesn't have to be. There is a way to get out of it. It is a shift of perspective. And while I don't like to oversimplify our very complicated human emotions, it is very simple, We just have to be dedicated to rewiring our brain. That's exactly what it is. We're always going to be triggered. I think that life is a lot about learning and evolving and growing, just within our own authentic self, who we are as a person, loving ourselves, all aspects of ourselves. And that takes time, right? You don't get to know someone overnight. And so many of us have been taught how to disconnect from ourselves. Actually, Ayurveda has a word for it called pragya aparad. It means the mistake of the intellect. So when we disconnect our intellect from our authentic, innate spiritual being, that is where the mistake happens. Because in order to live that life that is healthy and well, it is about being in alignment. It is about finding that balance. It is about knowing how when something comes out of the blue to throw us off course, we can rein it in, right? We have tools to bring ourselves back into that state of calm and peace. And the more we practice these things through the words we speak to ourselves, the people we hang around, the stuff we're saturating our mind with, the way we live our life on a day-to-day basis, the more it's going to affect our well-being, And here's the other layer, like we have to relearn things. I touched on this a minute ago. Like we have to, anytime we're learning something new, you start kind of at ground zero or whatever, the foundational level, right? You might have a natural gift towards something, but you're still kind of starting at the foundation, at the base. And we have to remind ourselves that switching perspectives, healing, triggers and traumas, it doesn't happen overnight. And it doesn't make us a bad person if we react and respond out of these things. It might not make us feel good, and that actually touches back on the molecules of emotion. But it's all an opportunity. It's all an opportunity to learn how to overcome the challenges, right, in life. And maybe that's not your bag. Maybe you don't care. That's fine. This might not be the best channel then, because this is really about growth and evolution. But it's more than that. It's the deeper layer that when we make choices to evolve, we actually live a more fulfilled life. And we end up manifesting, drawing in through the law of attraction, through quantum physics, however you want to see it. We end up attracting the life that we want. And it all goes back to that quote that I just read. Our reality is objective, right? It depends on, what we're seeing and what we're allowing to come into our space. When we are able to remain grounded in ourselves, that is when we attract the things that we desire. That is when we are in alignment. And that is when we actually are able to achieve that perfect health and well-being. So I hope you enjoyed this short little conversation about wellness, and maybe it will provoke you to think about your feelings, your emotions, what you see, your perspective in a different way. I know it has me. I have to continually work on this day in and day out. I have my own story of things that have made it challenging to be positive or believe in myself or value myself. We all go through that stuff, right? Part of it is just recognizing it and then doing something about it so that we can be happy and well. So we're not repeating the same patterns, BS, the stuff from the past. We don't need any of that, onward and forward. So if you enjoyed, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. Double thumbs up, like, share, subscribe so you can see our content every day. I really appreciate all the love and support. If you're interested in personal services, etc., all that info is down below. All right, much love and light. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Have a great day.